Welcome to the GenX Pole Arts podcast, Fit, Fierce, and Fearless. I am Zen, also known as Nancy Adzentovich, the founder of GenX Pole Arts. I am happy to be launching this podcast where we are going to be celebrating the strength, resilience, and potential of women over 40 in the vibrant world of pole dance. I'm excited to embark on this empowering journey with you guys. And each week, we will connect with inspiring women who are redefining what it means to thrive in their 40s and beyond. From incredible stories of personal transformation to tips on building strength and confidence, we'll explore the boundless possibilities that pole dancing offers for self-expression and empowerment. Whether you're a seasoned dancer or just curious about the journey, there's a place for you here. So grab a cup of coffee, a sparkling water, whatever turns you on, and get comfortable. Let's celebrate the incredible power of women who are embracing their passions and pushing boundaries at every age. And don't forget to subscribe and join our community on social media and sign up for the 15-day pole dance challenge if you haven't done so already. All right, now let's dive into today's episode. Hello, welcome to episode 5 of Fit, Fierce, and Fearless, the podcast of GenX Pole Arts. I am Zen, and I'm happy to be here with you again. It's been really fun creating these episodes with my guests. I've spoken with 2 amazing women so far, and I have another one scheduled for next week. I'm glad you all seem to be really enjoying the episodes. Please remember to comment and ask questions in the comments or give me your feedback. I really appreciate it. Today, I thought I would talk a little bit about injuries. So, in the last episode, if you listened, Shay and I spoke about an injury to her ACL in her knee that she had when she began pole dancing, and which she just recently had corrected with surgery, and that she is recovering from now. I also have had a knee injury about a year ago. I discovered that I had a complex tear in my meniscus, a strain in my calf muscle on the same leg, as well as a Baker's cyst behind my knee. And if you don't know what a Baker's cyst is, it's basically like a pocket of fluid behind your knee. So my meniscus in my knee, which had the tear, was causing a lot of fluid to build up and inflammation in the surrounding tissue. The fluid then gathered in a pocket behind my knee, which creates that Baker cyst. Then I had pressure and swelling going down my leg because of all of this excessive buildup and pressure. And I had the tears in my calf. So it was kind of a mess. I wasn't even really doing a lot of walking. I had trouble doing anything on the pole. I certainly couldn't do any kind of leg hangs. Even doing a squat was difficult. So I did see an orthopedic specialist. I had to have an MRI on my knee and my lower leg, I should say, which is how I received the diagnosis. And I underwent a series of cortisone injections. And I also had another treatment, which was an injection of hyaluronic acid, which is the same kind of filler that you can have put into your face around my meniscus to protect where the tears occurred. And I have to say that the cortisol injection really helped the rest of my leg heal. It helped to bring the swelling down in my knee, which allowed the Baker cyst to heal itself. And then just through of the rest and recovery period, my calf muscle was able to heal itself. But it did take me about 6 months before I really felt well enough to go back to my training. So I missed about 6 months of training. I wasn't able to go to the gym. I tried to do weightlifting for my upper body and some gentle yoga. I got really serious about working on pull-ups and chin-ups and just hanging and shrugs to work on my upper back and shoulders and my grip strength, which I did see the benefit of that as soon as I went back to pole. But during that time, I gained some weight, I lost a lot of confidence, and I had kind of a complicated relationship with my body. I felt like I was being betrayed by my body, which typically I've been very fortunate that my body has been healthy and strong and has allowed me to do all of the things that I've asked of it, including running marathons and triathlons and swimming long distances and doing tricks on the pole, walking my dogs for miles a day, strolling along the beach. All of these things that I took for granted were no longer accessible to me. So when I started Gen X Pole Arts, my business mentor asked me, "Why are you narrowing your audience to just older people?" Of course, my business mentor is younger than me and a man. And he asked, "Why are you narrowing your audience to older women?" And I said, "Well, as a woman ages and goes through perimenopause and menopause, our bodies change, obviously, but the chemical makeup of our bodies change. Our tissues themselves change. Our ability to recover and heal takes a hit, and things that used to heal quickly all of a sudden take much longer. Our flexibility has the potential to be more limited as our joints and our mobility gets tighter and stiffer. It's important to me to bring this acknowledgement into my training now and to share that with other women over 40, over 50, over 60. Because rather than tell ourselves that we can't do things anymore because we're getting older and we're too tight and we're too stiff and I don't want to get hurt, I would rather take the position for myself and for anybody who wishes to work with me and be my student that yes, we can still do things. We just need to be aware that we have to stretch, we have to care for our bodies in a more conscious way if we want our bodies to continue to be able to do new things and to be active as we get older. So, what that means for me in my training and the way I train others is there is an emphasis on strength building outside of the pole studio. So, things like lifting weights, doing high intensity interval training, body weight activities like pull ups, planks, yoga, lunges, conditioning on the pole, and cool down activities. So, stretching after we do our pole session, after we do our workout at the gym, making sure that we are caring for our bodies in a way that is nurturing and loving. And even though personally for me, like I said, I can tend to feel some angst, and that sounds harsh, but maybe some angst towards my body when it's talking back and not doing what I want it to do. I've had to learn to be more gentle and flexible with myself. And when my body is not complying, like today, I had a pole training session, I felt like I couldn't do anything that I was asked to do. My body just did not want to do it. And I actually just sat down and I watched what other people did. And then I spent some time on the pole working on a couple of other things that felt easier for me in the moment, but still my body just wants another rest day today. Does not want to be asked to do anything hard. And so I chose to listen to her. The other things we keep in mind as women over 40, 50, 60, 70, who are choosing to remain active and to increase our level of activity and to build our strength and flexibility even as we age are things like massage, getting massages, self massage. There's those great massage guns that are so good for especially like tight shoulders, backs, hips. I also use a foam roller. Recently, my hips have been kind of acting up, which is strange because that's never happened before, but I've been foam rolling my hips. Also, the yoga balls, like a therapy ball. You can use a lacrosse ball. A tennis ball is a little bit too soft. It has a lot of give to it. So, a more stiff type of ball is great for rolling your upper back, your mid back, your low back. You just kind of lay on the floor or put it on against the wall and roll up and down, and it gets in and does a nice massage on those muscles and helps to break up scar tissue or any kind of tightness that you might feel. Being consistent with that. The heating pad, which is my best friend. I have this amazing heating pad that's kind of like a shawl. It goes a little bit up the neck and down the back, and it wraps around the front. I like to use that daily, just on my general neck kind of creaks and tightness. Ice, ice after a hard session, whether at the gym or in the pole studio, works wonders on keeping inflammation down. And hot showers, hot baths, spas, hot tub, whatever you can do to get warm water, moving water also on the area is a good thing. And then, of course, cold plunges. There's cryo if you want to go someplace and do cryo, and then compression. So, like compression socks, compression sleeves. There's also the electronic compression, like leg devices that you can either purchase or go to a place that has them for athletic recovery. There's also the cryo chambers, which I haven't done, but I know plenty of people who do them, and it really helps. So, paying attention to all of those modalities, sauna as well, another amazing modality for recovery and keeping your body supple, floating in the saltwater baths, another amazing way to recover. If we want our bodies to behave in ways that feel good we continue to train and build strength and increase mobility and flexibility. We have to put more effort into recovery, and allowing rest is another big consideration in recovery. I also supplement, and I'm not a doctor, so don't, if you're interested in supplements, there's plenty of resources for that. I am a big fan of Dr. Stacy Sims, who is a proponent of creatine for one type of supplement for women over the age of 40 and who are in perimenopause and menopause, not just for muscle recovery, but for general health and wellness. So if you don't know Dr. Stacy Sims, I recommend looking her up. She has a great podcast episode with Dr. Andrew Huberman. I'm a big fan of the Huberman Lab podcast. Dr. Huberman is a professor at Stanford, and he has a lot of guests, and he himself has some expertise in human performance of all types, not just physical, but neurological, mental, psychological, etc. So that's a good resource. Dr. Mary Beth Haver is another person who I like to go to when it comes to educating myself about menopause and thriving in this second half of my life. She's done some wonderful research and has written a couple of books on the topic. So you can look her up. But I do supplement with creatine on a daily basis. And also, my personal physicians have recommended magnesium supplements, which I take on a daily basis, but you're going to want to do some research on that as well, because there are a couple of formulations of magnesium. One causes GI upset and the other one does not. So beware and do your homework on that. Don't just start taking supplements. And then the other one that I take daily is BCAA plus glutamine. And I've been using that one for a few years now. And that I really feel has made a difference for me personally in the length of time it takes me to recover, and it lessens muscle soreness for me. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be an expert on supplementation. I'm just letting you know that for me, supplementation is important in my care of my muscular and nervous system and my cardiovascular system. I have followed the advice of physicians like Dr. Sims and Haver and Huberman. So, and my personal doctors. And I just encourage you to do the same. So, why am I saying all of this? Because what I have found in my study of one, myself, as well as in talking with my siblings and my friends and other people in my family, as we get older, it's very tempting to shy away from doing hard physical things because we have a fear of injury. And nobody wants to be injured. Nobody wants to become less mobile than they need to before they need to. I think as we get older, we start to recognize our mortality, and that's a damn scary thing. And we know that there's X number of years before maybe we won't be able to live our lives as well and in an active way as we would like to, in as much of an active way as we might like to. And so we play it safe. We become extra cautious and we create a lot of reasons and we rationalize why we won't try hard things and why we won't ask our physical bodies to do things that are challenging or difficult. And it's completely understandable. It makes so much sense. However, more and more studies are being released every day saying, proving that we can actually age well and safely as long as we follow the right protocols in our training and our recovery. Those protocols include listening to our bodies. If our body is saying, yeah, I'm into this, but today I'm just not feeling it, I need a rest day, then we don't push it, we rest. If it's our mind saying, yeah, I'm into this, but I don't feel like doing it today, like I just don't have the motivation, that's a completely different conversation. And I'm not talking about that today. What I'm talking about today is injury and preventing injury and continuing to grow and get stronger and more flexible in the face of injury as we get older. It is possible. However, we must listen to our bodies more closely than we ever have before. We must rely on professionals, doctors, physicians, physical therapists, etc., who can guide us through the best protocols for maintaining our suppleness, our strength, and our ability to recover after a very hard workout or training session. And we need to work on our mental game and change the conversation that we have with ourselves and know that when we're scared, that fear is not a reason to stop trying new things. Fear is not a reason to play it small. Fear is not a reason to stop living. Recovering from my injury gave me the opportunity to really reevaluate why I do the things that I do. And when I was able to come back from my injury and start my pole training anew, it felt like I had come home. And it gave me a new appreciation of my own strength and my own ability. And I don't take it for granted anymore. And now more than ever, I am gentle with myself and I do listen to my body when it tells me it needs a break. And I feel less and less guilty about taking breaks than I did before I was injured. Again, to avoid injury as a trainer, and I may have or may not have mentioned this on previous episodes, but I do have a personal trainer certification and a yoga teacher training certification. So I do consider myself to be a trained trainer in addition to just having trained myself my entire life. I do believe warming up properly before every training session. And that might mean warming up at home before you go to the studio or the gym, because the studio or the gym class does not have an ample warm up period, and most of them don't. So, doing a real warm up, doing strength training at least 2 days a week for a total of about 90 minutes a week is what is recommended. Doing that on a regular basis. And also focusing on mobility and flexibility training outside of the studio to maintain that range of motion and that mobility, so that when we are trying in our sport, in our craft, in our art, to do new things, and that we're training our bodies prepared and we're not shocking our system, muscular or nervous. We're going to be less likely to be injured. That being said, injuries happen at every age. And when they do, we want to make sure that we are conditioned enough that we can recover without having an extended recovery. So the supplementation helps with that. Again, do your own research. Don't listen to me. I am not claiming to be a doctor, but supplementation and a base level of conditioning so that our bodies understand what needs to happen to rebuild the tissue and to come back strong. That's really all I needed to say today. I am feeling like I'm in a rut right now. And so it's very top of mind to me. I was in a car accident about 2 months ago, and I got whiplash on my left side from my neck all the way down to my tailbone. And just as I was recovering from that, I actually had a fall from a shoulder mount on the pole, which, although wasn't a very fast fall and it wasn't a fall from a great height, it it did cause trauma in the same area that was hurt in the car accident. And so I'm kind of been recovering from those two instances for the past couple of months. And I'm avoiding at the same time any overuse injury or compensation injury that I may be in danger of developing because I'm babying certain areas of my shoulders and my back and my neck and overcompensating in other places. So it's very top of mind for me. It's very real for me. It's very real for most of us, regardless of our age in the pole community. So it's not something to stop you. It's just something to be aware of. Do your conditioning, do your strength training, do your warm ups, do your recovery, do your self care, massage, heat, cold, all of the things, and be well. I hope you challenge yourself to try something new today. I hope you do something to enjoy your life. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode where I will have another wonderful guest for you. Bye. Peace. I love you for watching. Please subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fit, Fierce, and Fearless, powered by GenX Pole Arts. I hope you feel inspired by the incredible stories of strength and resilience that we shared today. Remember, it's never too late to embrace your potential and unleash your passion. If you enjoyed this episode, please, I would appreciate it if you would take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave me a review. Your support really helps me to continue to uplift and empower women over 40 in our pole dance community and beyond. Don't forget to connect with me on social media for more inspiration and updates. I'd love to hear your stories and share in your journey. So until next time, keep dancing, keep shining, and remember that your strength knows no age.